All the promise of a classic FA Cup confrontation between the two most recent winners of the English League Championship. Arsenal and Leeds meeting in the FA Cup for the fourth time, and only once have Leeds emerged victorious. That was in the 1972 Wembley final. Well, Arsenal's team selection largely concerns the players who are missing. In addition to the suspended Ian Wright, Arsenal without three more regular first-team players. Steve Bold was injured in training over the weekend. They kept it a secret. Andy Linnigan comes in at number 5. But both Mark Flatts and Anders Limpar are injured too, and so 19-year-old Ray Parlour is pitched into a testing occasion. Leeds have decided that this is the night to recall goalkeeper John Lukic, who was dropped from the last two matches, back tonight at Highbury, where he spent 7 seasons and played almost 300 senior games. Right back has been the problem position. Mel Sterland now needs another operation, and that will keep him out until the end of the season. So David Weatherall moves to number 2. Chris Fairclough returns after being substitute in the last 2 matches. What kind of a return will it be for John Lukic to the club where he won a league championship medal in 1989, and of course followed that up with the same achievement for Leeds last season. At the other end, the England number 2, who hasn't been involved in the last 8 England internationals, David Seaman, but who's looked on absolutely top form. The referee, Mr. Joe Worrell from Warrington. Leeds haven't kept a single clean sheet away from home all season and have conceded 41 goals in 19 away matches. Chris Fairclough, who's occupying that right-back position. That will stay in play. And the key for Arsenal tonight will be really to see how the likes of Kevin Campbell fill in for the missing top goal scorer Ian Wright, who's found the net 17 times this season, but who tonight is up in the stand. Second match of his 3-match suspension. That was Parlour who got in a tackle. Adams who's cleared. Fairclough with the throw. Chapman heads it on. This is little Strachan. McAllister. Speed. And Linnigan, who's put it out of play. Well, he's played it at the back several times already this season. Andy Linnigan filling in when Tony Adams was suspended and then when Bowl was out earlier. And Batty looks for a target. Linnigan clears, only as far as McAllister. Back to Batty. Forced to turn by Dixon. Oh, neat little back heel by Gary Speed. McAllister who went down. Joe Worrell points for the goal kick.
No question of a penalty there. I'm interested to see the back 4 of Leeds, which is say has had a bad time this season. The waveform is dreadful, and Chris Fairclough slotted into that right back spot. He might have thought he'd be facing Anders Limpar or perhaps young Mark Flatts, but Paul Merson is playing out left, and there's 3 sort of more central midfielders, Parlour, Hillier and Jensen, all a bit similar, so they might lack width on the right-hand side.
Arsenal with 2 chances of reaching Wembley this season, still to play. Crystal Palace in the semi-final of the Coca-Cola Cup competition. Linnigan. And neither side has really settled and got to grips yet. Jensen. Campbell. Fowler's waiting. Checks to find Nigel Winterburn. And Strachan's kept control, but he's only got speed as a possible target. Rigo who gave it in back. McAllister brushed off the ball by Jensen. And fairly so. Now Merson on the right. Under strong challenge from Fairclough. Campbell arrives! Cracked it against the woodwork. The best opening so far, and Paul Merson really showing his strength out on the right. He got that right across, and Campbell steaming in at the far post. Cracked it against the angle of post and bar. And it went so high, it went straight over the back of the hoarding behind that goal and into the building side. Well, Stuart Houston just having a little word with Paul Merson, and they won't be displeased with what they've seen.
Well, hopefully he's telling him to pull more into those wider positions. That's the first time in any almost Arsenal attack that a forward other than Lee Dixon or Nigel Winterburn has got into a wide position. Up until now they've been playing in the width of the 18-yard box, and certainly worse, Merson is the one who's got to pull and take people on. A great early cross, and Campbell was unlucky really.
Oh, it got away momentarily from Tony Adams. Linnigan. Oh, they've got away with it. Jensen. Break by Dixon. Speed had gone with him. Hillier. Smith. Papala. You can sense the edge of excitement beginning to come into the match after the initial sparring of the first 15 minutes or so. Winterburn, Campbell, Smith's with him, wants to have a shot, good force. Two good strikes by Kevin Campbell in a little over a minute. Smith, who took one of the defenders away. Unfortunately for Lukic, nobody had come in behind it very quickly. Linnigan. Hasn't played many games since his signing for £1.25 million. Andy Linnigan from Norwich back in 2.5 seasons ago. Little touch on, Speed might get to this. They've looked at Joe Worrell. Arsenal aren't happy with it, I don't think, but Gary Speed has continued his real run of goals. That's now 4 in the last 5 games, his 12th of the season. Gary Speed's name goes into Joe Worrell's book as the first goal scorer, but Arsenal appealed, and I think they might have felt there was a handball. Well, he just brushed away Andy Linnigan, but a little bit earlier from that, when Lee Chapman was involved, maybe Arsenal felt the ball had brushed the Leeds player's arm.
Well, Lee Chapman, I mean, it's a very straightforward, a soft goal from Arsenal's point of view. A long ball knocked on by Chapman, as he so often does, and to his credit, Speed made a lot of ground from out wide to become the extra man. I thought he chested it. I don't think he got a hand to it. They might have momentarily paused. Andy Linnigan, though, just allowed him to brush past him, clipped it with his weaker right foot, didn't hit it that well, but it was enough to guide it past David Seaman.
Well, maybe that's exactly what this match required. Arsenal feeling that they've done most of the attacking in the first 25 minutes, but now finding themselves a goal down to Gary Speed, a Welsh international. Oh, lovely little touch by Gordon Strachan. And look how quickly he injects pace into the attack. Strachan, Batty available. Shutt's gone down the touchline, didn't quite get it to him. Campbell. Oh, well, he put it where a player had been, but not where he had stayed. McAllister sees speed out available on the left. Rigo goes on the outside. Oh, it's a great shot by Gary Speed, but it wouldn't have counted if it had gone in anyway, because the linesman put his flag up. A couple of Leeds players had just got offside, but that dipped wickedly down under the crossbar. Strachan. No foul. This is Hillier. Campbell. Oh, he's free, Campbell. You could always see that he wanted to have a dip himself, but there were two other Arsenal players arriving, Merson and Alan Smith. He never really looked across to see what the options might have been. Well, Arsenal have had 3 opportunities. They've all fallen to Kevin Campbell, and he hasn't converted any of them.
Didn't make the most of a mistake by Chris White. He sold himself there, and he seemed to take the shot too wide on his right foot. I mean, he had quite a bit of space to cut in towards goal, and in the end he was shooting from too fine an angle.
Leeds with the free kick. Gary McAllister will take. Parlour. Dorigo's popped up. As it clips somebody's heel. Arsenal's throw. Inside the last 15 minutes of the first half. Campbell. Batty, who took it off him. Winterburn. Hillier. Good strike, good connection. David Hillier has only scored once previously this season.
John Lukic has done well, though, coming back this evening. Although, of course, playing against his old club, he might feel a bit more relaxed, but he's held on to 2 or 3 shots low down that could have just popped out.
Picked up an extraordinary eye infection after a little bit of mud spattered into his eye during a training session. But fortunately, that has cleared up. And Mervyn Day in the middle. That was by Gary Speed. Again showed that real spring that he has in his heels. Oh, it was so easy for McAllister to step up there. Strachan the furthest forward. Nice touch again. Gives it him back. Well, there was a real confidence and precision about the way Leeds broke out then. The interplay by Gary McAllister and Gordon Strachan was really delightful. A little back heel and first time balls back to each other. And if Gordon Strachan could have lifted this one up to the far edge of the penalty area, he might have done better. But McAllister with the corner. Linigan's clearing header. Dorigo, neat back heel. McAllister steps through. McAllister still driven in. Lee Chapman has forced it in. David Seaman terribly disappointed, but Leeds lead by 2-0. Lee Chapman's 15th of the season. And there was some really delightful play involved in the whole build-up. First that brought the corner, and then with Dorigo's back heel, McAllister stepping around the Arsenal players. Seaman didn't get a hand on it. It was Dixon on the near post, but bundled in by Chapman. And with 10 minutes to go to half-time, this cup tie is swinging very much in the favour of Leeds, who, remember, have only won away in domestic football once previously this season, and that was in the replay against Charlton in the last round. Winterburn, Adams, Hillier just got away from him. Dixon.
I mean, it's not a surprise, quite frankly. I mean, Leeds have got that bit more width, bit more invention in midfield, and I mean, sort of Parler, Hillier and Jensen are so similar that there's sort of no creative element in the Arsenal attacks, and it was a very easy goal, wasn't it? McAllister just drifting into the penalty area, and Chapman coming in at the near post and bundling it through Lee Dixon on the line.
Dixon with the free kick. Merson. Halfway up the fifth row of the mural. And Arsenal with some serious thinking to do at half-time. Well, the last defeat for Arsenal in an FA Cup tie here at Highbury was against West Ham in a third-round replay 4 years ago. Gordon Strachan. Oh. The tap on the shoulder by Andy Linnigan is by way of apology, but that has left Gordon Strachan in a crumpled little heap, right up on the shin. Didn't look to me as though Andy Linnigan was within a couple of feet of the ball.
I think he almost got him on the knee, left knee, but I've seen yellow card shown for less, and Gordon Strachan probably won't be too pleased when he gets up to find that his marker did get away with that tackle.
Howard Wilkinson has been a winner as a manager at his 3 league clubs. Notts County promoted to Division 1 at Sheffield Wednesday, also promoted to Division 1, and with Leeds the 2nd Division Championship, and last season the 1st Division Championship. Strachan looks none the worse. Chapman's flick on. Cleared by Adams. McAllister. This is shut. That was Winterburn who lunged in. Another free kick. And Joe Worrell elects to have a word with Nigel Winterburn. Well, he's a sensible referee, Joe Worrell. Never one to resort too quickly to the yellow card and the caution when a soft word might do the same trick. And George Graham looking a little bit glum as we move into stoppage time at the end of this first half. His side, having suffered that horrendous FA Cup defeat at Wrexham in the 3rd round last season, looked to have put all that behind them when they won away at Yeovil in the 3rd round this season by 3-1. But the hat-trick hero of that match, Ian Wright, not able to play in this occasion. And at 2-0 down at half-time, Arsenal with a real mountain to climb. Dorigo will hit it.
Good strike by Tony Dorigo. I mean, Leeds will be delighted with the first half. They've played well, but in all honesty, Arsenal haven't done themselves justice. They can play a lot better than this, whether it's the balance. We shall have to see in the second half, but I'm sure George Graham will demand that little bit more passion. And one goal, it can easily transform, but at the moment, Leeds deserving lead.
Merson trying to get away down the middle. Smith on it quickly. Dixon's come up in support. Lukic lost it, but the whistle's gone for a foul on the keeper anyway. Free kick. It's a real teasing ball. It's one that stays in the air for a really long time. And it was Merson who was penalised.
It just jumped at John Lukic, wasn't watching the ball at all, and definite free kick.
Winterburn's header. This is Campbell. Winterburn again. There's a good ball in by the left back, right along the edge of the 6-yard line. But Lukic on the return to Highbury has looked equal to all that Arsenal have produced so far.
But in the last 2 minutes, Dixon and Winterburn are the two players that have had to get forward to get the crosses in. I mean, Leeds have been vulnerable to crosses, and yet they've not been put under pressure because Arsenal haven't had the width this evening.
(2-0) to Leeds at half-time. Gary Speed, who put the visitors ahead after 24 minutes when he outpaced Andy Linnigan in the penalty area. Lee Chapman doing what he does best, poaching on the goal line to force in the second. And you can only use the players that are available, but the question mark for Arsenal will really be, would Ian Wright have converted all the chances that Kevin Campbell didn't? It's academic, half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Leeds 2. The biggest margin of defeat that Arsenal have suffered this season was when they lost 3-0 at Leeds in November. The start of that dreadful run of 7 Premier games in which they only scored 1 goal and took just 2 points from 21. Either side has made a half-time substitution. Dorigo for Leeds. Adams helps it back to David Seaman. Merson chips it forward. Smith waits for it to drop. Dorigo. Oh, nice touch by Dorigo, and things opening up for him a little bit here. Gary Speed available. Chapman didn't quite take it in his stride. And the header back catches Chapman still offside. It nearly opened up then for Lee Chapman, just failed to take that ball in his stride, and if he'd succeeded it would have put him through.
It would have taken him clear of the back four of Arsenal as they pushed up. Good break by Dorigo, wasn't it, from the back that opened it up, and that perhaps now what the Arsenal back four have got to do, carry the ball forward and try and commit the Leeds defence.
Speed, Strachan, lovely little touch by Strachan, he's got away from Linnigan. Adams came across, and the shot was at a comfortable height for David Seaman to deal with. But Leeds threatening to get through twice in the first minute of the second half. Dorigo's kept it in. Lee Chapman. Strachan. Dorigo. Well, Hillier went through a little bit late. Dorigo reacted and then controlled himself. That was good to see from a professional, but he was incensed momentarily with the challenge from David Hillier, and with good cause.
It was a very poor tackle, wasn't it? I think it's one of those, a result of the half-time pep talk. A few early tackles, and it was very late, and quite rightly the yellow card. There'd been 1 or 2 in the first half, and I think just to clamp down on it early on is the right decision.
Arsenal collect another caution. Ray Parlour. Smith. Very little on for him. Well, he nearly did well, Alan Smith, and got away from a tight position, but he's just looking perhaps a little bit accusingly at teammates. When the ball came up to him, then there was just nothing on for him at all.
He had to get tackled. He was waiting for people to join. George Graham has changed it slightly. Paul Merson has come sometimes on the right-hand side, and then when the ball goes up to the front strikers, he's sort of tucking in behind them, but it doesn't help them with the width situation. There's three central midfielders are still there, and certainly they're not getting out wide very often at all.
Campbell, he'll have to hold it up. Well, again, he wanted to do it all on his own, and by the time he finally had the shot, one or two other Arsenal players had got forward in support, and again there may have been better options for him. He came in on his left, and by the time he got the shot in, there was a whole clutch of yellow shirts between him and the goal.
But when he was bearing down, you did say, I think he's going to have to do it on his own, because once he'd gone out wide, there's no one then to join, so he's got to hold it up, and eventually try to do it himself. You know, that balance is still lacking.
Linnigan. George Graham was in the Arsenal FA Cup final side, defeated by Leeds in 1972. Alan Clark's memorable goal, giving Leeds the trophy for the only time in their history. Arsenal have won it 5 times, most recently 1979. But they could be on their way out of the competition this season. 2-0 down. Smith. Winterburn. Parlour. Still Parlour. Oh, good shot. Ray Parlour. The exuberance of youth. And maybe that's given Arsenal the way back. On his FA Cup debut. Having been out of the side for 5 games with an ankle injury, he stepped through, and despite the strong challenge that he was under from the edge of the box from David Weatherall, got in a really good telling shot. Lots of pace, bottom corner, and Arsenal have pulled one back. Well, it looks as though Leeds have made an immediate substitution. Rodney Wallace, who's coming on, and Lee Chapman, the player who's been pulled off. Sorry, Trevor.
Well, it was more power, as you say. Ray Parlour picked it up, and Gary McAllister just tried to make the early tackle. He powered his way past them, and Weatherall was just a bit late to plug the gap, got away from him, and his shot actually went through John Lukicz's legs. A bit unlucky for the goalkeeper, but as you say, it was essential, I think, for Arsenal in that sort of 10-15 minute spell after a half-time pep talk to try and get a goal back.
Now we've got a real cup tie on our hands. Dixon motors forward. Smith's coming in at the back post. His foot was only inches short, but it'll all come back anyway, because in the hectic excitement and the cauldron of noise, no one quite spotting the linesman with his flag up. Joe Worrell finally did, but the whistle lost in the mayhem. Great surging run though by Lee Dixon, and Alan Smith just couldn't quite stretch the foot long enough, but anyway it wouldn't have counted. Rod Wallace. Rocastle, great ball by Rocastle. Strachan, oh, it's a nice build-up again by Leeds. Wallace to really run at Adams. Brushed off by Jensen, a foul is given right on the edge of the penalty area. Electrifying little bit of pace from Rod Wallace. Well, it was clearly a push, and another half a stride forward, it would have been in the penalty area. John Jensen, the offender, 5 in the wall, or 6 with Campbell. Strachan hit Campbell on the end. Rod Wallace, wonderful save by Seaman. Point blank by the Little England B international. And a stupendous save by David Seaman, who has really been in electrifying form in recent matches. Carl Schutt, offside this time against Strachan. The right hand went out. It was reasonably close to the keeper, but a quality stop. Adams knocks it back. It might drop nicely for Smith. Dixon very wide. It's a good cross. It's right under the crossbar. The keeper's dropped it. But the whistle's gone again for a foul on the keeper. Joe Worrell exercising the right of protection for the keeper, who was under horrendous pressure as that dropped right underneath the crossbar. Well, he just flapped it away, but the decision was a foul.
That's one of those occasions that I think a bit too overprotective. I think the ball was hanging there. Kevin Campbell did go for it, and John Lukic didn't quite deal with it, and I think it should have been allowed to scramble and see what happened.
Smith. He's done well to find Merson. Parler gets the ball into the 6-yard box, where Chris White gets a foot on it. Arsenal have the corner.
Getting better though, isn't it? Parler again getting that wide angle. Good block at the near post, but just up in the tempo now, the home side.
In fact, it didn't quite go for the corner. It just missed the bottom of the flag, and it's a throw. Foul against Rocastle. So Worrell indicates somebody was holding him back. Speed, beaten by Dixon. He feeds Merson, covered by Rocastle, who did terrifically well. Well, he wants to make the most of his opportunity, Rocastle. He's done well to keep possession. That's finally gone out to Carl Schutt. Strachan, let it run. Rod Wallace. Oh, he swung his foot when a little bit more composure and half a second longer would surely have brought the third goal. Dorigo on the overlap. No offside. Now, can he pick somebody out again? Rod Wallace has swung his foot and missed from right in front of goal. And that'll go right through to Lukic. Well, two opportunities for Rodney Wallace. First with his left foot, he missed it, then with his right, and he didn't get a connection either there.
I think he should have done better with both. That one, as it dropped, took a wild swing on his left foot. His finishing isn't the strongest part of his game, but a good play, wasn't it, from David Rocastle initially that made the break. He's done very well since coming on.
Well, there certainly would have been a player offside. There's no flag gone up, but it looked to me as though Rodney Wallace was about 10 yards offside when that ball was knocked back. Maybe so far offside, the linesman on the far side hadn't seen him. And this time he does spot Gordon Strachan. Well, this is the second effort that Rodney Wallace had.
I mean, Tony Dorigo pulls it back well, scuffed badly by Rod Wallace. I mean, he could have actually had one touch to set himself up and then finish.
Winterburn. This is Hillier. Jensen. Well, I think Lukic was teasing. There wasn't that much sting in the shot from John Jensen, who hasn't yet scored for Arsenal. Alan Smith hadn't got back. Offside. With just less than 15 minutes to go, Arsenal making a substitution. John Jensen, who just had that shot, the player who's pulled off, to be replaced by Jimmy Carter. His last game for Arsenal was 5 months ago. Unused substitute in the 1-0 win at Manchester City last week. With just under 14 minutes to make an impact.
Yeah, his arrival has meant almost revert into a 4-4-2, 4-2-4 system with Merson going out wide on the left now, Jimmy Carter going out wide on the right, and they should get the width, and perhaps one or two telling crosses could give them the opening that they're so desperate for.
Carter's first touch. Dispossessed by Rocastle, then Batty, then Strachan. This is where Leeds look so dangerous. Showing just over 10 minutes left for Arsenal to get the equaliser. Oh, good turn. Rocastle, he's got free. He got free of Hillier, but the ball didn't pick out Wallace. Adams heads it forward. Arsenal were caught offside as Leeds condense the play. Batty to Dorigo. Speed, forced to hurry. Free kick's been given. Crowd of just over 26,500, just becoming a little bit subdued. As Arsenal fail to get the breakthrough. Maybe now, Parlour. Merson on his right foot, well struck! Fabulous strike by Merson, and bang on cue. It's a different game now, 2-2. And what a wonderful strike by Paul Merson. Stepped inside Fairclough. Wide of Lukic. Merson's 5th of the season, an absolute peach of a goal. And having been 2-0 down at half-time, you can't ask more of Arsenal than that. They've made it 2 apiece, and there's still time for a winner.
But that midfield balance already showing the benefits. I mean, the ball was played into Smith, and Ray Parlour now with just a 2-man central midfield, broke very well, ran through the middle, then played it out wide to Merson. You mustn't allow him, when he's out wide on the left, to come on his right foot. You've got to channel him outside, but he hit it superbly, and really John Lukic no chance at all.
What a cup tie now. Speed to run at them. Still Gary Speed, got his shot in, dragged it wide. Well, this Monday night 4th round cup tie is the first meeting. There's no extra time tonight. If it stays at 2-2, it's a replay at Ellen Road on February the 3rd. And that history of cup ties between Arsenal and Leeds ending in draws would be continued. Most memorably, of course, in the 4th round in 1991, when it went to 4 matches before Arsenal finally won 2-1. Well, Howard Wilkinson put £100 on his team to win the FA Cup just before this tie at 25-1. Rod Wallace. Still Rod Wallace. Adams has backed away. Linnigan's tucked in behind as the second man. Came off Adams. Corner. Oh, it must be a nightmare to have somebody like Rod Wallace running at you with his terrific pace. Strachan will take it in front of the mural. 2-2. Oh, he's lost it, Seaman. But again, the keeper was protected by the official, and a foul has been given. Well, he's under pressure, there's no doubt about that, but did you see a foul?
Well, there's no question I didn't. That's one at either end as far as I'm concerned. I know goalkeepers sometimes do get it challenged badly, but on both occasions, John Lukic at one end and David Seaman the other, I think they've been very fortunate.
As we now move into time added on for stoppages. Carl Schutt, it's gone out of play, Arsenal's ball. Smith. Another Arsenal throw. Smith looked up for support and couldn't see any. But it's still an Arsenal ball. Winterburn with it. Little flick on. Hooked away by Dorigo. Back by Linnigan. Campbell with his back to goal. Cleared by Rocastle. And then Strachan. Adams. Offside. Flag's gone up. Oh, he's been a busy linesman. (2-2), looking increasingly the outcome and a fair result on the night, Trevor.
Well, perhaps I still think Leeds had the two-goal cushion, had chances to sort of make another two-goal cushion to get it to 3-1, and I think Arsenal will be the relieved team to have a second opportunity.
Dorigo. Little Strachan. Well, that time he sold Batty short. This is Jimmy Carter. Campbell, maybe it's not over yet. Lukic has come off his line. Campbell got a touch, but he didn't quite get the connection that was required. And Kevin Campbell, the chances have come and gone, with a real opportunity to be Arsenal's hero with what would have been the winner in stoppage time.
The chances for Arsenal have come to Kevin Campbell, haven't they? A couple earlier in the match, which another day he could have tucked away. That one, you had to feel he was going to go round John Lukic. There was no way he was going to put it through him. If he could have taken it wide and clipped it into the net, I think that would have been the winning goal.
But it wasn't, and the rival managers can shake hands, and I'm sure are both, well, Howard Wilkinson, by his gesture there, indicating that Arsenal got off the hook.